We're really, who's
We are
ever screwed
recording.
up on this is going to learn a lot.
Yeah, we are recording as of now.
Okay.
Again, I guess we can all stay on while you do it tonight, since it's just us coaches, right? So Andrew is presenting tonight. I have the pleasure of having my business partner Andrew doing his presentation. I think you guys are going to enjoy what he's got for you this evening. Andrew, with that, it's all yours.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to be with you and presenting tonight. What I'm going to be presenting is something that the gentleman last Monday, Steve Reese, who was the editor-in-chief of modern salons and the publications out there in Chicago, and now works with Salon Interactive, presented to me. And it's research that the modern research group had conducted with what is called the ISBN, International Salon Business Network. And the ISBN is composed of large chains of hair salons and barbershops. It's the largest network of a group like that in the world. And they commissioned modern salon research to do this particular research on retail. And I'm going to go through the high notes of this because we don't own this. I have to be respectful of the ISBN and also modern and also relationships with everyone. So I will not be displaying the actual numbers. I'll be talking through the numbers and you'll get the concepts. And I'll be sharing some of the numbers with you, but it's not going to be up in the presentation. So here we go. And believe me, the numbers are, I will share with you. You'll be impressed, okay? So screen share, my screen. Oh, PowerPoint, share. And we want to go to, what do we call it? The slideshow, right? I think. Oh, what happened? Oh my God, I lost it. Oh my God, here it is. Set up, present from the beginning. Okay, here, hopefully here we go. Okay, so modern salon research commissioned by the ISBN, and this is really a presentation for all of you guys. Okay, the research, I'm just calling it, we're looking into the hearts and minds of the consumer and the professional. That's what it's all about. And who are these consumers that we looked, that those modern folks looked into? Male and female Americans over 18 who said they visit salons and barbershops. And professionals, us, American salon professionals, including commission stylists, independent contractors, solo artists, salon owners, and managers. And by the way, ask questions, interrupt me, it's fine, okay? Derek, is that okay? Can we get people to ask?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And James and I are here. If people
Okay,
ask,
so you guys read the questions. So why do you do research? Why this research? Because we all know that retail is one of the most scalable and profitable parts of the salon business. Because, and the truth is here, I think we have to admit that most of us aren't selling as much retail as we'd like. Because, and this is a big one, because the retail landscape has changed dramatically over the past few years. Because to sell more retail, we need to understand, and this is really key, we have to understand the perceptions and behaviors of the clients who already visit our salons and barbershops. And because to sell more, we need to understand our own, or when I say our own, we're in the professional business, so the professional perceptions and behaviors, because they're very interesting And the more we understand these perceptions and behaviors, the better off we're going to be and the better moves that we can make to sell more retail. Everyone with me? Yeah. No questions so far? No one?
Not yet.
Okay. Now this is really important because they did intergenerational things and asked men 18 to 34, men 35 and older, women 18 to 34, and women 35 and older. And there are significant generational differences between generations related to both the related perceptions and behaviors, and that's what we're going to get into. And here's the deal. If we can provide what they want to millennials, millennials are predisposed to be great salon customers as they're more focused on value than price. Millennials are more focused on value than price. And millennial men are a very special opportunity, but they have some different perceptions and behaviors than other groups. And you'll see what that means as we get into it. Here are the key findings about younger clients. And this applies to men and women, younger, that 18 to 34-year-old group. They visit salons or barbershops more often. They use more salon services, and they're always trying the new. So what do I mean by that? The average frequency, according to this research, of a consumer who visits a salon or barbershop is every 7 weeks. For men 35 and older, it's every 6 weeks. For men 18 to 34, it's every 5 weeks. For women, older women 35 and older, and a 35-year-old woman is not an old woman, but women 35 or older, it's every 8 weeks and every 7 weeks for women 18 to 34. And there's a big difference between 7 and 8, right? Derek, you're a numbers guy. What you could quickly calculate the percentage of visits, annual visits, right? Between 7 and 8. I'm testing.
Wise guy.
Yeah, I know.
No, but think what that means. Think what that means across your whole salon.
Right.
And the key thing that I just thought of when you said that, because I want to get people interacting here, is I come from years ago in the salon industry. Our key was that 35 and up, right? The single process crowd. But now that the data tells us that the younger crowd is coming to the salons more than that older crowd now. And by older, it's not necessarily older, but it's an interesting thing to show that the millennials, the younger clientele, is actually spending more and coming more frequently.
Yeah, and what they spend on is different too.
Mm-hmm.
What they spend on is different.
Yeah, and Andrew, to your point, the 7 weeks so everybody knows, 7 weeks between 8 weeks, it's one extra visit per year. If you multiply that, even if it was only 200 of your clients did that, that's an extra $20,000 a year if they spend an average of $100. So that's free 20 grand. Yeah. I'd take it.
Exactly. So how are consumers influenced when it comes to product? Okay. They generally look at websites, doing their research. Okay. Younger consumers are most influenced by their salon professional. So their professional advice means a lot to them. And what a salon professional today is different than what we used to think it was, because they're much more holistic in their approach to wellness and beauty as well as hair. And this is what the perception of the audience is saying. There are holistic advisor. Talk about influencers. A third of younger consumers say they're impacted by influencers. Although, and this is very important for us to know, it's not their most influential source. Friends are. Friends are the most influential source of behavior of visiting a salon or buying a particular product, or even having a particular service. friends. Older clients are most influenced by their stylist or barber. So we have a shift here, really important. And loyalty programs are most impactful with younger men. Let me see if I can grab something about loyalty programs to just give you an insight into that. Loyalty programs. 30%, this is huge. 30% of men 18 to 34 say, I only buy from retailers where I belong to a loyalty program. Whoa, I only buy. But this doesn't mean a salon. It means across the board. It could be, wherever they shop. And then 26% of those men, I mostly buy from retailers where I belong to a loyalty program. That's 56%. Okay, so if we're owning a salon or barber shop and I want that kind of customer, well, you do the math. You guys are smart. And if you ask the same question about women in that younger age group, 7% 14% only buy from retailers where they belong to a loyalty program, and 24% I mostly buy. So we're looking at 38%. That's a huge number. Okay, for guys.
Andrew, that data right there, that data is telling me you're really missing out if you don't have some sort of loyalty program. And a loyalty program does not have to be a discounting program, folks. And the numbers in this we'll get into. Andrew's going to get into that a little later. But it could be an extra product or something like that, right? Whatever it is, but have some sort of reward for those customers who are faithful to you. And the numbers here are staggering, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're just like, whoa, not what we would really think. Okay, and belonging to here's something that we need to know. More young young women, 20%, only 20% say belonging to a loyalty program does not significantly affect where I shop. 80% of women 18 to 34, loyalty program counts. Okay, it's important. Okay, the big picture on retail. Mass merchandisers are the primary go-to location for grooming or beauty products, as opposed to salons and spas. And the overall key drivers for retail stores, or those mass merchandisers, are convenience, location, or price. But younger guys, remember I said at the beginning, younger guys have a difference. They also have a focus on service. So where they go, service is important. And our younger clients shop at many different retail locations. Doesn't mean they're not loyal, okay? And we'll get into that in a moment. But they shop at different locations for different beauty and hair care products. Questions on that, Derek? You guys have any questions?
I would just ask, what, in your opinion, Andrew, with samples and testers kind of going by the wayside after this, I know everybody likes to look at Ulta as the arch enemy and, from a salon perspective, but once they have to pull all their testers, they're probably going to have to reduce staff. Do you think that could make a little more of an uptick for salon retail?
Could do. I don't know that they're going to pull all the testers. That's an assumption. If they do, it could do. I don't, what they do, my thinking is we just have to do what we do, understand our business, understand our numbers, understand our consumers. And this is pre-COVID, by the way, but I can't imagine that, loyalty and all that stuff is going to change all that much, or interest in the new. We'll see.
We do Andrew, we do have some comments coming through with that this data doesn't match my location. Okay, in some cases it may not. You may have marketed to a very specific niche, which obviously is going to change your specific focus in your salon. But
Absolutely.
these are general numbers throughout the whole population base. So if you are looking to market to new clientele, these numbers are going to give you some ideas on who you should be looking at that are the spenders.
Well, that and better understanding, how you're marketing to your existing client. Listen, if you're doing an amazing job already, you can do an even more amazing job by having keener insights into who those clients really are. There's always room. My mom used to say, always room for Jello, right? There's always room for improvement. And so Derek's right. These are broad-based numbers, and they may not exactly match what's going on in your business. And then again, they may. But what we do know is there's huge opportunity, just like Steve had pointed out and Jim pointed out last week with online shopping, et cetera, and just understanding who our clients are. And the reason this research was even commissioned is the big guys who commissioned it, and they are big guys, they're big chains, they're 100, 200, quarter, billion-dollar chains. They needed to understand it because their retail has been taking a hit, and they wanted to better understand their world. So, yeah, it may not be 100% applicable to you, but this is valid research. Okay, this is paid for and conducted thoroughly, and I didn't do it, thank God. But thank you for the comment there. Online sales. Okay, when shopping for beauty or grooming products online, the product category was the largest driver. Okay, after that, generational differences. Okay, so what a product category is: shampoo, conditioner, it could be spray, whatever. Price and free shipping are key drivers, but significantly less important to younger guys who want convenience. Remember, the younger guys want service and convenience. And remember, they go, and this is not a plug that you ought to, gear up your business towards the younger guy, but you just really need to understand them. And when you're purchasing retail product for your shelves, understand what that you may have some of these guys and what they're going to look for. Younger consumers are much more likely to talk about products or post online reviews. Another really good thing to know. Okay? And by contrast, your older 35 and up is less likely to talk about products or post reviews online. You need to know that because you need to know who you're asking what to, okay? Let's swing over to the 800-pound gorilla. We'll swing over to Amazon. Just general information, Amazon represents 41% of total online purchases. That's a big gorilla. 60% of salon and barbershop customers belong to Amazon Prime, and Amazon accounts for 40% of their online purchases. Over half of women say they bought beauty or grooming items from Amazon in the past 12 months. Half. Wow. And beauty products are the #1 Amazon category for our female clients under 35. Okay, guys? So we talked about that the other night when it came to the software, Salon Interactive. I believe we talked about that, and who would be interested in that, okay? Obviously, female clients under 35 are interested in beauty online. And this is very important. Amazon does a good job. And our clients really like Amazon. And as a matter of fact, professionals really like Amazon personally. Okay? Ask any one of your team members. And there's a conflict here because personally, okay, they most likely have Amazon. They shop on Amazon. Professionally, the number of is 18% that they like Amazon professionally. That's a huge swing. Okay. Salon relationship. Most consumers consider themselves loyal to their salon, stylist, or barber. Okay? Most consider themselves loyal. This is important here. Older clients are less likely to believe they're being disloyal when buying professional products at other retail locations. Everyone get that? So an over 35, she's loyal to the salon, she's loyal to the stylist or barber, she's loyal to a human being, but she's not so loyal as to you when it comes to buying professional products. She doesn't feel guilty. Okay? That's how I look at it. Younger consumers are much more likely to say they bought products at their salon or barbershop. And that goes back to the posting, right? They're more likely to post, hey, I bought this, I like this product, etc. Younger clients are much more likely to buy hair-related products at a salon at barbershop versus other locations. So I'm not saying, the research doesn't say they definitely do, but they're more likely to buy, okay? And this is good for us. This is really good for us. Just by nature of who we are, in who we represent to that younger client, they're more likely to buy with us. Younger consumers are more likely to consider beauty or grooming products bought in salons or barbershops of better quality. Better quality. And so quality means a lot of things, different things to different people, but people are willing to pay, you'll see, pay for quality. It means price. In general, better ingredients are the distinguishing factor separating professional products from general retail ones. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Do a little check-in here. Younger consumers who consider professional barbershop products better than those sold elsewhere are willing to pay more, would be willing to pay more. They will pay more for what you sell as long as you're selling things they consider of quality, and quality means better ingredients. So the key driver for all this to buy beauty and grooming products at your place of business is product quality. That's the key driver for them, for that group. Not price, product quality. Okay? That speaks volumes to me. Just
Andrew, going back, Andrew,
Yeah.
just going back to what you just said, guys, a perfect example is why do you, and I'm not recommending them as a product line for sure, but you'll take an Aveda, a Davines, a Kevin Murphy, higher end, higher priced products. If you notice the salons that always have some of the biggest sales, usually they will have some form of those products in them. And it's because the consumer is looking at quality over price now. It used to be, I can tell you from my day way back, it used to be the other way around. It was it was a combination, price and quality. Now people that are spending money in salons are looking for that quality product.
Yeah, I think that's true. And not that I would recommend those companies over other companies, but those companies, as well as some very fine other companies, spend a boatload of money on research. Mm-hmm. And they also have, you ever wonder why they don't sell, even though sometimes it seems like, they sell to everyone on the block? They don't. And they're very mindful of their distribution. Because if it gets into the wrong hands, and that's why there were all sorts of, when people were selling their stuff all over Amazon, they weren't, I know the old stories, et cetera, and maybe they were shipping it, who knows, a distributor over in Europe was selling gray goods, we don't know. But these guys were really concerned because it could destroy the perception of quality, because where things are located, where they're found, where you can buy them, also adds significantly to the impression of quality. Think about it. If you can find Aveda in a, give me the name of it, just mass merchandise store, just Kmart, okay? I don't think we're going to find Aveda in Kmart. What would price point and also quality? For younger clients, the loyalty extends to both services and products, really important. Older clients, primarily the loyalty means services. So let's not get angry with them. Let's figure out ways that we can sell more to them, right? But remember, they don't feel like they owe us anything when it comes to purchasing product, although they may feel like they owe us something when it comes to the services. Our younger clients are more likely to think that salon products are better. And again, they're willing to pay more, primarily because they're better value and ingredients. Okay, guys? Our younger clients, our BTO, I don't know what I wrote there. They say they would be more likely to shop online, purchase products through their salon. Okay, so when asked, would you purchase, if I had a site, would you purchase products from me online? They're more likely to say they would through your salon. And most clients, especially younger guys, say they'll be willing to pay for shipping. Okay. Let's move on to ourselves, the pros. Professionals think they're more involved in selling retail than they likely are. And there are two key reasons that the pros, we, don't want to sell retail products. Because they're available elsewhere and a concern that the products don't work. Okay, it's not going to work. I don't believe in the products. So there's a resistance around that. Big resistance, actually, because people, if they don't believe in the products, they'll sabotage it. So that goes into how we present, how we bring people on board. Okay, professionals are an important source for health and beauty recommendations. This goes back to the original slide, okay, where I said, hey, you're considered a health and beauty wellness advisor. So if you're considered that way, then you're an important source for recommendations. Again, professionals feel very conflicted about Amazon. They like it personally, they dislike it professionally. And owners are more likely to attribute their retail success to the products they offer rather than to their staff. Okay? Which is really interesting.
So Andrew, that speaks volumes to me, and why it speaks volumes to me is that there wasn't team buy-in when you chose a product line. And if, like you had said earlier in the slide, if your stylists don't believe in a product, they're not going to sell it. It's as simple as that. They're not going to sell it. They're not going to educate it, and they're just going to be miserable. So I think it's important to get your staff excited about a brand. Obviously, owners are because they picked it and they bought it, usually, right? Otherwise, why would they be carrying it? But you need to get your stylists excited about the brands you carry too.
Yeah, they need to be, the key word is involvement. Involvement. And how you bring people into the fold. And if they're not involved, your commission rates don't matter. People aren't going to sell. If you give them 20, it's not going to matter because it's emotional stuff. They're concerned. The products don't work. If you're concerned something doesn't work, are you going to recommend it to a client? Because what does that say about you? And if you're concerned that it's all over the place, you know, oh, you can get it at Stop and Shop, we're not really going to carry it. So let me see. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. When we consider retail, have we considered generational and gender differences in putting together a retail strategy? Think about it. Are we talking to the clients about the things they care about most? Can we take advantage of online retailing? Can you take better advantage of your role as a health and beauty influencer? And what's your team comfort level of selling the retail products you're offering? And how can you make them more comfortable? So these are really the big questions that that we ought to be asking ourselves, because the research and I'm what I think I'm going to do is invite Steve Reese on, or Stacy, so they can present the actual numbers here, because I think doing it this way, while I have all the numbers talk, nobody walks. But if you ask me questions around it, I'll give you the answers to the numbers. Okay. Let me go off here. Whoops. Where am I? Hold on.
Andrew, you can leave this slide up if you want, and we can just chat on this.
Okay, let me get bigger here. Whoops, got smaller.
Yeah, people are talking right now about, retail in their salons, things like that. I think tonight was more to give you the data, right? And it just shows that, in my mind, that our client avatar, and we'll call it a client avatar, because if you don't have that, you should make one, which is basically a picture of your perfect client, who they look like, what age they are, financial resources, things like that. You should be identifying that to yourself. Now, with these numbers in mind, they're going to play into that, right? We just learned that the younger generation spends more in salons than the generation that we were always brought up to believe in. Not all of you, I was, which was always going after the wealthy, middle-aged to later middle-aged woman who was getting single processes. And that was our avatar at the time, who we were going after for a target market. Things are changing, folks. Things are changing, where the younger consumers are spending way more money than the older consumers. Now, in some areas that data might not play out, but as to the nation in general, this is in bulk where we are. Now, with online retailing, everybody should have their own online store, whether it's Salon Interactive, who we recommend, obviously, or it's some way of setting up your own store. If you're not playing the game, you're losing money every day.
Yeah. So this is interesting, guys. What factors influence your decision to buy beauty or grooming products at your salon, if any? Okay. So we mentioned quality of products. For a younger guy, 58%. That's number one thing. For a younger woman, 47%. For a woman, 35 and older, the quality, 65% of them say quality is an important factor. Now, remember, not as many of them buy the stuff, but quality is important. Here's another thing that's important: newness. Newness. For guys, young guys under 34, 29% say newness is important. That's huge. That's nearly a third So you want to be thinking about how you merchandising your business, right? Okay. The professional.
So Andrew, to clarify, newness means the latest, coolest brands, correct?
Make sure you're always presenting, something new, something new.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That's important. If if the same old story that you're presenting, that's not new. That's
Andrew,
not,
do we have any data on color?
no. This is retail. This
Just
is
retail?
retail.
Okay.
And it didn't go into color clients. Are they more likely or less likely, and what age? No, this was strictly about retail. Okay.
Okay.
Another important thing, and remember we said before, advice, demonstration, or prescribing. 36% of young guys say that's important in their decision. Okay. The professional brand, 32% of them say that's important. And what's important, older women, 35 and older, 31%. So you get it, a woman who is a salon customer over 35, quality and brand are important. And also to that woman over 35, sampling, back to James's point, 43% say sampling is important. 43%. And their relationship with the stylist, woman over 35, 45% say that's an important factor. Much less on a younger client. Younger woman, it's only 37%. Convenience, it's okay, 22% for young guys, 29% for the older 35 and older woman. Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry, for 18 to 34-year-old woman. I'm sorry. Okay. So trust relationship is important to them as it is important to women 35 and older. Convenience is important for the woman 18 to 34. That's the most important. Okay. So we have to understand what's important to them. And by the way, I made an error. Sampling is important to a younger woman. And sampling is also important to an older woman, but more to a younger woman. Okay. And in terms of the numbers willing to order online, 52% of young guys say they'd be willing to order on your website during an appointment. Okay. 55% of women 18 to 34 say they'd be willing to order a product online at a salon website during your appointment. I think that's a huge number. It is a huge number, not that I think.
I mean, if it's me, I'm getting and not necessarily an iPad, but I'm getting an iPad at every station so that the consumer can actually shop on our online store while they're sitting in the chair.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, wow. That's a big deal. No?
Yeah, I mean, those numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
That means 1 out of every 2 clients just said they are willing to shop while they are at your place on your online store.
Yeah. It's gigantic. So there, guys, when we go back after this, and even before, we really have to start thinking about our whole retail setup. That's
Michaeline just said that's expensive to set up the iPad. Just a quick note, it doesn't have to be an iPad. You can get a Kindle Fire that surfs the internet for $40 these days.
It's not saying that they're definitely going to do it, but we really have to give it some serious consideration. All this online, the Salon Interactive, and just think about what we can by changing how we're merchandising. Through Salon Interactive, and this is not I'm not paid by these guys, but I really see it being an important factor, and even, for our financial well-being. And customers are saying, I do it. I mean, and we're saying, oh, well, no, no, we're not going to do it because. I'm not saying any of you guys are
Because
saying.
it's change. Because it's change. Now we have to change. We have to adapt, right? Somebody just asked if you could repeat the figure on the who's likely to buy from your online store, Andrew.
Okay, sure. The question is, many consumers, especially younger consumers, would you consider ordering a product online during your appointment, during your visit? Okay. 52% of men 18 to 34 said yes. 30% of 35 and older guys said yes. So that's nearly a third. 55% of women 18 to 34 said yes. And 30% of women 35 and older said yes. Okay. No, 26% of young guys said no. 39% of older guys said no. 19% of women 18 to 34 said no. That's not even 20%. And 34% of women 35 and older said no. And then maybes, 32% of guys 35 and older said maybe. So between the yeses and maybes of older guys, that's 62%. 22% of young guys said maybe. So between yes and maybes, you have 74%. Oh my God. With 52% saying, yeah, I'm going for it. 26% of younger women said yes. So 55% of younger women, that's the highest category, said yes. So between that, the yes and the maybe, we are looking at 81%. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's like crazy.
That's
Amanda just brought up a good point, guys. And somebody else just said, I had people shop in my chair for tools on Amazon. Well, guess what? It's because we couldn't provide that to them from our online store. Now, if you set up your own online store, that person's going to be shopping on your online store from their phone. And somebody said, just promote it. You could do mirror clings, whatever, promoting your online store. Shop for our products right here. Hey, Amanda, did you see that? Did you see our online store while they're in the chair? And they're going to sit in the chair and scroll.
Exactly. If 55% of our clients, women, female clients, are saying, I would buy from you when I visit you, hello, from you. And then their loyalty factor is high, right? They are loyal to you. A younger client is loyal to you and loyal to your product selection, although they're buying other places. But 55% are saying, yeah, I order. If you have it, I come in, you show it to me, and yeah. Hello, guys. Hello. I guarantee you that the folks who heard of this research, who were privileged to sit in a room and listen to the guys who conducted the research, who own chains and big locations, are taking this stuff really seriously. And we can move a lot faster than they can. That's the beauty of it. And I can tell you that because I've been a chain owner. And I can tell you an independent can move a lot more quickly and make it happen at store level in a much better way than any chain can. That's an advantage that you have. Really. Thank you for asking that question again. Who else? And if I'm being obnoxious tonight with I like numbers, but I just see
No,
you.
no, it's all good, Andrew. I think anybody that's on here, if you're not getting a wake-up call from these numbers, and then you're
Yeah, it's
probably missing the boat. I mean, we have the old saying, right? No, numbers don't lie. Stories do, things like that. But if the numbers are true, they just don't lie. They take the emotion, like somebody just said, they take the emotion out of the choice. And that's important to know. That's why millions are spent in research, right? On stuff like this. Somebody just asked, can you have more than one distributor on Salon Interactive? Folks, just give them a call. We really don't work for them, or, we do promote them because they're nice, great folks. Give them a call. My knowledge is that you can have many, many distributors, just not of the same product line, because different areas have different, areas where they can only sell to. So
yeah, you guys can have amazing online store. You can have an amazing online store, and your clients trust you. They like Amazon, but they're loyal to you. And don't worry about the older woman who's shopping elsewhere. Don't worry about it. Concentrate on the people who are likely to buy. Let's not worry about, not that woman will not buy from you. They will. But let's focus on the folks who are more likely to, and do those things that entice them. Become the places that we can become, so that they'll say yes to us more often. And don't be angry if they shop in a lot of places. They do. That's life today. But make sure that when they're with you, they can shop to their heart's content, because they will. And they'll spend more because they like you.
how many people have you noticed these days that have their nose in their phone 24/7, even while you're having a conversation with them, right? That's just the way people have become. Not everybody, but a good majority of them, right? And what are we doing now? We're feeding them more information to surf on their phone while they're in your chair, and there's your store for them to shop at. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer here.
But also, what's really important is they consider you, your team, influencers. That's really important. So and it's more than just hair. So you want to be thinking about your education, and you want to be thinking about how, you're positioning your team. You want to be thinking about what they're posting online. They ought to be thinking about. They're important. As a matter of fact, they have a lot more influence on the consumer buying. I didn't get into that, than quote unquote the real influencers do. The real influencers don't have a lot. People know what that gig is. It's a paid political announcement. You as an influencer, genuine and real. People are looking for authenticity. We have to be thinking about this stuff. We're special. What else? What else do we have, guys? Any other? Who has the next question?
So a lot of commentary back and forth, a lot more on Facebook than in here. The Zoom group is mostly agreeing with everything you're saying, Andrew, and then the Facebook group just has a lot of different a lot of different questions about
Like
if you
what?
were going to have the online site, could you have them order from the chair and still have it shipped through Salon Interactive? I'm sure that's a big yes.
Yes. Yeah. What else?
Um, I would add to that, I feel like, as we're getting back into opening, you're going to have to stock your PPE and a lot of your color more than anything else. So it's not bad to have something like Salon Interactive in your arsenal because you may not want to stock. You don't know what the clients are going to need exactly. They might be out of everything. They might have bought things from the drugstore and are going to wait till they're done. So instead of putting out all that money in the beginning, it gives you another place to get some of those products in their hands, and they ship them right to them. So I'm sure they would all understand if you said, "Hey, listen, our first priority is your safety and getting our staff back in." So we've started to work with Salon Interactive or My Salon to Me or whatever one of these shipping companies is, and say, "Hey, we're going to ship it to you. It'll be at your house in 2 days," and they're happy, you're happy, you still make the money on it without having to stock it, which is great.
Which is great. You don't have the cost of inventory and tying up the dollars. It's really a great idea to relaunch with that. It's fantastic. I mean, it is some work, but most of the work is up here as opposed to physical work.
And usually when, I know Angela had chimed in on a few things, we always look at retail as education for our clients. It is part of your job as a professional to tell them what they need to recreate that look at home. It's also your job to help them troubleshoot. I can't stand when somebody comes in and says, "Oh, it never comes out the same way." When you do it, and then you find out they have a brush that looks like it was a dog toy at one time. They have a blow dryer that's basically, you could put a hamster inside, or it's a crank blow dryer, and it's not a pro blow dryer. They're not putting, a heat protectant in before they blow dry, and then they blame it on, "Oh, you're so experienced, Andrew. That's why you do it so much better." It's like, no, your tools are garbage. So, we try to look for little upgrades and troubleshooting as we go along.
Derek, I may tell me if I'm off base here, but I think some of the lines that are carried on Salon Interactive, you could have at-home style videos that show how to do at-home styling. So you could turn on, that you could allow your clients to go in there and take a look at that. You can turn on that feature. You don't have to do them, right?
You're correct, Dan. Yeah, you're correct.
So that's really convenient. You want to see how, I'll show you today if you want, but if you forget at home, I'm happy to do a Facebook FaceTime with you, but you can also just go into Salon Interactive, click here, and we have a video for you. That's cool. That's, to me, that's great.
Yeah, and to add to that too, Andrew, we have a lot of staff. Every time you ask somebody to do a video and, "Hey, we're going to do your favorite product," and they're a little apprehensive about being on camera, sometimes just filming the hands working with the product with the voiceover, as long as they recognize it as your salon space, it's more interesting to them that it's not just a how-to video that they get off YouTube when they say, "Well, my God, that's the sink area in the salon," and they know, they don't actually have to speak on camera. They can actually be sideways. I mean, there's so much cheap equipment you can use now to video.
By the way, that just brings up a point. I work with a guy, and we made he had a very large company and a lot of training, and he never had a video because that showed people's faces. It was all hand. It worked.
Yeah, like the old ABC Vidal videos, right? It was like you don't even know who's really cutting the hair.
Right.
That is
Right.
pretty
Is
cool.
it important, really? Not that's not so important.
Yeah, and Patty Mead actually posted something really good that we've attempted to do this at one time or another, but video the blow dry. So if you can get a tripod, which they're pretty cheap, and you could even pop. Matter of fact, what you could even do, Patty, is you could pop their phone and hit record, so you don't even have to send them the video, and you could pop it up there on that tripod and say, "Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do," and they can take that home for reference and actually watch the blow dry, which would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's all possible. It's all possible. But I believe if we do those things and hit the right target, and we make the right product selection, and we establish, we already have the trust, my God, we can really rocket our retail. Why not? Makes sense. It makes sense to me. And if I owned today, I'd be all over this darn thing. I promise you. So we want everyone to make more money, don't we? And have a better time, and make sure the clients are getting what they want from us in terms of the experience. So we better do this stuff, not worry. And we can do it inexpensively. We don't even have to carry the darn inventory anymore. Wow. Other questions?
Our skilled crew of people that have been with us for our 20 some odd sessions are all doing a really good job about answering each other's questions in Facebook. So they're doing a lot of the legwork, which is good.
I love you guys.
It is pretty
Thank
funny. We have it's like the people's couch.
Well, I hope we're offering, some valuable information, and at least in this retail, at least some thought-provoking things with these questions. Have you considered the differences? Because there are, and you can dig deeper for yourself. Ask questions. Go read in terms of Salon Today, Modern. They have articles about demographic, psychographic differences.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, our friends at the Wholeness Center in Nyack, New York,
Mm-hmm.
they had just asked this more than once. I want to make sure we get to it. But
Okay.
can anybody speak to how, I know obviously there's a little bit of a percentage difference with something like Salon Interactive, but they're doing all the shipping and all the work. How does that affect the practitioner or the stylist commission? Do you just still keep them at the same commission rate? What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are the same as, first of all, I don't know what same commission rate means.
If you say, I mean, typically I think people would say industry standard is sort of 10%. And then, if they hit certain triggers, you could bonus and things like that on top. But that would be my best.
Yeah.
Nyack saying 15%.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can see your way to making money, selling more, there's look, you do sales and then percentages. You'll make more money. You can make more money with a smaller percentage of a larger gross. Okay, and you just have to balance it. I wouldn't disrupt. Look, if you're paying 20% commissions, I would think twice, because you're not making anything on retail, basically. But I wouldn't if it were me, I wouldn't disrupt, or I'd go to a system like Jim suggested, the scale system, and figure it out.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, if you look at certain salons that are team-based pay and things like that, there's a definite mix of even non-strategy salons. It might even be a Van Council type thing too, where you don't get paid commissions on retail because that's part of your job. And whatever the salon sells in retail, maybe the salon pumps it into an education fund or uses it for events and other things to support the staff. But they would say, listen, your job is to show up dressed and ready for work. Your job is to recommend the appropriate retail for that client, and that's it. And they would use that indicator saying, hey, your rebooking rate, your retention rate, and your retail rates are not great. So they would look at it, they would look at it and say, hey, listen, you might be getting fired. Don't worry about what your retail commission is.
Yeah, I mean, their pay, it's all incorporated into the pay. It's part of the job. And that's what you do. It's not any different than some stores.
Yeah, and Patty mentioned quarterly prizes. That's sort of what we do too, Patty, is we work those numbers in quarterly. We try to gamify it a bit. We have them on different teams at different times, and we try to work it around not traditionally over the regular quarter because of the way the holidays fall. So we try to work that in in certain angles and make it a little more fun. And they get competitive in it. You know, we put the names up on the board in the back room, and we have a ringer that always seems to always do the best, and they try to overthrow her every single time somebody's on a different team. So it makes it a lot of fun.
I think what's really important for owners here is to now you have a better sense of people buying, and you have a better sense of, who's buying what. So when you go into a team meeting, you know a little bit more. And when someone says, well, blah, 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 is it based on research? Not really. Not really. But your thinking is now more based on research. You know more. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you're at a higher level than they are. You're not. You just know more. And so, you can ask them different questions and kind of punch holes into the preconceived notions that a lot of people have. But you do know that if people don't believe the product's going to work, if they don't believe it, whether it works or not, it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. So
somebody had asked about the PPE, Andrew, the protection equipment. I'll have the company's name and stuff tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I think they will also be going through Salon Interactive for the PPE also, but I'm not sure on that yet. I don't recall what Jim had said on that, but I will have the links up tomorrow in the group for the US. This stuff comes right from the United States for the personal protection equipment. If you've been unable to get them, these folks are good people, and we'll get the link out to everybody in the group tomorrow.
Does anyone know any salons in Georgia on this call? And how folks are doing down there in the states that are open? Do we have any idea?
I said, I don't know, before you got on, Andrew, I said I posted a video of, I think it's Indulgent Salon, Jeff South Salon in Marietta. And I talked to him this afternoon. It was their first day. They're a big salon, 5,000 square feet. The video is great. It's sort of what they do, their walkthrough with the client when they come in and they sign their waiver and they take their temperature. It was done really nice, but he said it was interesting. Everybody was very happy to be in. Big salon like his only did about 30 clients today, which is probably nowhere near his normal number. But they got their feet wet, and it worked out pretty well, they said.
Hey, it's a Monday.
Yeah.
It's a Monday. Come on. But at least they're up and at 'em. And what are clients saying? Did he give you any sense of that?
He just said they were so happy to be there that they really didn't make, I know we're all talking about the structure and this, what our commitment is for safety, for our staff and our clients. He just said they were so happy to be there that they really didn't even make, whatever you told them at that point, they were just going to do it because they were so excited to be back in the salon.
Mm-hmm. That's a good antidote,
Hey guys, also, this is for the group members. If I were all of you, I would start getting a pre-sign up list together for when you are going to reopen, a call priority list. I think it's a good thing to have ready to go when people want to come back in. So just do a pre-sign up list. You can do it by a Google Doc, an email, whatever, but get that out there because you're going to have a lot of phone calls to make.
Derek, know what we can do? We can, I think maybe we'll put an instruction on how to do that, because
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be really helpful. But step 1, step 2, step 3. If the people on Ninja can do it kind of automatically, but for those folks who don't have it, let's give them the 3-step.
You got it.
Yeah. What else, guys?
New York, 15. Ugh. I got to tell you, New York and New Jersey. Ugh. That's all I have to say.
Don't even start. Don't even start. My wife said today, "Oh, I'm so glad we ordered 2 more, 2 more tubes of color, because you're gonna have to do it twice." Oh yeah. So So thank you, Andy Cuomo. Thank
Bella,
you.
thanks for the shout out too. I'm glad you guys tested it out today.
What else?
Let's see. Did they talk about the waivers? Yeah, in my mind, a waiver is probably pretty important right now. I know it's an extra step, but like I had said earlier in the group, there's always some lawyer that will crawl out of the woodwork. So the more protection you can protect yourself with, the better off you are. And I don't mean personal protection equipment. I'm talking about paper protection equipment.
Yeah, make sure your insurances are all in place. You know, let's not assume anything.
Yeah, somebody wanted me to talk about theoretically taking temperatures is against the HIPAA laws, which is the Health and Privacy Act. But some states aren't saying anything right now with this craziness that's going on. But I would make them sign a waiver and just say you waive your HIPAA rights. There's plenty of them out there that you can just go online, do a Google search for a waiver document, and copy it and get it. Just something to protect yourself.
Yeah, smart idea. I mean, it seems that people are doing it. And further, my sense is as the weeks progress, and more, we have more and more openings, some of this is going to be quieted down a bit. That's my sense, but don't go on my sense. I've been wrong. What else?
Hey, James, did I see on Jeff's, on the one that opened in Georgia today, that he had cleaning on every mirror, like when the last time the station was cleaned? I think that's a great idea with a sticky in between, just saying last sanitation or I can't even say the word sanitization was at blah, 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 right? It might be a good idea to have.
Yeah, he did a really nice job with a lot of the signage. You know what the problem was? I watched it on my phone, so I think I need to rewatch it on a bigger screen so you can kind of get a little of the detail. But they have this beautiful stand-up screen that's just crazy. That when he walked in, I mean, listen, he's got a much bigger space than we do. I'll have to find a way to bootleg one to make it look the same thing. But it was really nice. The person they walked through, it looked really good. It looked like they were comfortable, and that's the whole thing. If they're comfortable with it, it would be great.
Speaking of stuff on stations, I know Salon Interactive has mirror clings, and they recommend that you put those on all the mirrors. So it boosts sales, basically.
Yeah, somebody just said a dry erase marker on the mirror itself, saying when it was sanitized. That's a great idea. It's what hospital nurses do, right? When they come in and they write on last time they were in the room, that kind of thing. Good idea. Just steps up the game in your client's mind more than anything, that you're ahead of things and getting it done.
Yeah, it's also a really good time to scrub your data, because if you're going to have to deal with some variation of contact tracing, while you guys are home, you should be messaging your clients. Make sure their cell phone number is right. Make sure their email. Not a bad thing to get their address as well, so it's in there. So it gives you a contact point with them while they're home, and say, hey, we're excited about getting ready to go back. We want to make sure we have the most accurate information, so that you don't have to do it later. You may not have as much of that talking time, and if you're stylists, you're going to be doing virtual consultations before they walk in. Whoever does your back office, it might be good to get them on. Whoever does your back office, it's good to get them on that kind of stuff now.
That's a great idea, to have the snail mail address.
Listen, there's companies out there. There's a great company called Bond. I haven't used them. That does. They take your handwriting and they analyze it, and then they send. I mean, the handwritten notes look fantastic, but they actually use your own handwriting to make it easier to send them with some service frequency. So it's kind of nice. I mean, listen, everybody likes a handwritten letter once in a while, right? It's like it's not the worst thing in the world.
Postcard Mania does a good job,
Yeah.
but they need addresses. And and I think people would be inclined now to give them, more inclined now than perhaps ever before.
James, somebody's asking about the air purifiers. You can speak to that because you already got the one I told you about, and then somebody else put that $16,000 one in. So quite a big difference in price, but they're out there, and I think almost all salons should be using air purifiers right now.
Yeah, and it's called the Air Ethereal. You can pick up a commercial one on Amazon, but if you look up ozone and UV, it'll pick it up. I know Ann also mentioned the Dyson air purifier. I mean, first of all, it depends on how much money you want to spend, right? You can get the ones like Jeff had, that's 16,000, which I'm sure makes the place fantastic. But especially you guys that have spas, what you're going to have to think about is whatever your signature scent was that you used to have when people walked in, and you're burning incense and all that. That's definitely going to go away for a while. So there's nothing better than having the place smell clean. I don't know if it needs to smell hospital grade like bleach, but if you're using something like an ozone cleaner that actually makes the space smell really clean, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, I think that is secondary. Obviously I like to burn some Nag Champa when I get in the salon typically, but I'd rather have it not smell like.
Guys, also, I see a lot of people posting just straight out air purifiers. No, do not get an air purifier because it will not kill the virus. You need something that kills the virus, like an ozone generator with a blue light, or a peroxide generator, I guess dry peroxide generator, something like that, which is the really expensive one. The regular air purifiers will not kill the virus.
James, you bring up a good point about, because we haven't done a lot of talking about those, the spa portion of the business. And to some people, they have a significant spa business. And I would imagine that your spa supplier, if you're working with a certain company, would have a lot of information right now on what to do, and how to handle things, and what works and what doesn't work, and a lot of protocols. So if you have a spa and you're working with the supplier, I'd recommend, getting on the horn and communicating with them, and perhaps attending some online seminars that they're conducting too. I think it's important.
I think it's really important, probably more so for spas and people doing facials and things like that, that you protect yourself that much more because of how close you are to the client in many cases. So you're probably going to want to get a face shield also on top of a mask, just for your own protection. You're also going to have to try and find a glove supplier that you can get very, very tight fitting gloves from while doing the services, because obviously regular, stylist type color gloves are not going to work for that. So you got to do your research and get on it.
Yeah, so owners, take care of your estheticians. They're special people, really. And they're great, and guide them, help them. I'm not saying you're not, but let's make sure we don't forget them. That's all I'm saying.
We should have bought stock in the ozone companies prior to this, right?
Yeah.
I just got a message from Boyd. I said I think you're probably going to want to shut off the late fees also. I think that's important because timing is going to be completely different now. Between your clients may have to wait in the car in some states, and you may have to text them when you're ready, things like that. So again, we got into this the other day. On average, you're going to be looking at probably an extra 2 hours a day of dealing with the timing issues and cleaning issues. Yeah, guys, all the states are, if you're asking state specific, there is really no information. Every state is coming out at different times with different criterias. Hopefully we'll be out of this in not too long, but hang in there, hang in there. It will get better.
Yeah, New York's probably going to be the last one to emerge. Probably.
You're just like a bad neighbor all the time, Andrew, because I'm in New Jersey, James is in New Jersey, and you had to muck it up for New Jersey, right?
Did you dirty? Sorry, guys. What else?
I'm trying to see what Boyd's saying to me. Andrew will be the last one to emerge.
Thank you, Boyd.
Good stuff. Okay, anybody else have any questions before we call it an evening? James, any? All good?
Nope, we're good. I just had
Tomorrow night?
a few times with the ozone generator info. I'll source it on Amazon and I'll post up a few options in the group too.
Thanks, James. I appreciate it. Who do we have on tomorrow night, Andrew?
Come on, you have the schedule, man.
You are the scheduler, my friend.
I'm the
I can't see my screen because your PowerPoint is in the way.
Okay, well,
I'll take a look. Bear with me 1 second. I will jump on to the reset.
I know we have some really neat guests this week.
Oh yeah.
Some wonderful coaches. The entire week, new faces. So read the lineup.
I have to check. What day of the reset are we on now? 27?
27, but day 28, Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm scrolling, Andrew. The mouse is going fast. Oh, cool. So let's see. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we have Kaylee Oj from the owner of Hype Hair Studio. She will be on speaking tomorrow evening. And then
He's a coach.
Wednesday night we have Kerry Davis Duffy, 7 Steps of Salon Profit and the Optic of Ownership during these challenging times. That should be fun.
And for you Canadian, Kaylee is Canadian.
Correct.
Just so you know, Kerry is a longtime industry pro. She's a powerhouse coach. And she's been a part of the Aveda network for quite some time. She's unbelievable.
And then Thursday, we have Heather Lee Ryan, who's going to be bringing her perspective on booth rental systems for those of you who run booth rental salons. And then Friday is going to be a big one. Nicholas French is going to be on with us. So that should be exciting.
Yeah, all these folks are great. They are very highly energized. They have some great information for you, unique perspectives. I love what this week, with these new folks on.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep it coming to you, Andrew. How are we doing with the new schedule for next month?
Coming along. I have a few newbies coming up, and we'll get Mr. Neil Dukoff on. We have some marketers also, some really smart people. So we're coming along. And anyone who, hey, listen, you guys, if you want to be on, let us know. Or if you know someone who you think ought to be on, please. People have a lot to contribute. And we'll, if you want to be on, let me know. We'll work with you. if you want to put together a presentation. I think a lot of people have good things to say, and this is a platform that will allow it.
Yeah, we are glad to bring it to you. Our team, James and Andrew, have been working very hard at this, and I thank you all for showing up every evening. And with that, everybody have a fantastic, safe evening, and we will see you all tomorrow evening.
Really appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow evening. James.
Awesome. Good night, guys. Good night, Andrew. Good night,
See
Derek.
you.
Good night.